Are you are you excited for the game? And then what do you think they're going to serve you in the press box? And what is your birth sign?
Answer the last one.
I am excited for the game. I'm thinking there might be water chestnuts served in the press box at lunch. And my birth sign, I have no
see, that's a
knowledge
flex
of.
right there because you tracked all three like a professional would. So yeah.
I have a difficult question and an easy one. Which one do you want first?
Either one. Just the fact that you stipulated there are two. I think no, but we have a good group of people here, so they respect that you have two, so we can do one.
There are two questions today. So the easy one is the qualities that you saw in Liam that made you think this could be a good NFL left guard.
Starting from college, you're saying?
Yeah, after you arrived,
because
looked at the Dolphins tape.
Well, we had him targeted in San Francisco at guard, and then so really, when you end up targeting a player in the draft, you're looking at everybody, but then you're taking a pool of players that you see something in, and you're deep diving further, so you know more about those players than anybody. And it was his attention to detail, his aggressive but composed play. You can see when people, on third down especially, are very erratic. He was consistent with his technique, and he understood angles and played with good pad level. And then we also had a cheat code. We had a teammate of his, Mike McGlinchey, that, so we got to know about all those golden domers. And then, it was like a lot of the players, on the offense, not just the offensive line, but just in general, it was a little tricky when we got here and we're evaluating them just with the distinctive difference in the style of play and concepts that we're doing. So we wanted to be open-minded and had a gut a lot based on the college evaluation. So kind of went with that and didn't want to didn't want to prejudge stuff when I was looking at something that didn't really apply to what we try to do. So that being said, gave him the opportunity to start at left guard to start, and that started as an opportunity, and then he won the job. We didn't have a ton of, as you guys know, movement with that starting crew. That wasn't by design. It was just by, a collection of people having a gut, and then the players proving that gut right. Hard question, go.
Okay, and the hard question, just if you're able to share yet, do you have a sense yet whether Eric Rowe with the pectoral, Van Ginkel off the appendix will be available Sunday?
I mean, did Coach Belichick just give you those questions to ask? I mean, I get that I'm a rookie head coach, but I mean, come on.
Or if you know, their listing
No, so
yet.
Much like training camp, but this much I do know. As you guys know, I fully share as much as possible because I respect what you guys are trying to do. But with regard to injuries, we'll take it day by day, and really it's the you can really stick to that old that limited, and we'll chew on that one and make it a game time decision. We good?
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, come on, man.
No, I do understand. Yeah. Obviously, those are two rotational pieces, so they're competitive issues.
Yeah, no, and my birth certificate says 1983, not yesterday.
Yeah.
And Raekwon Davis popped up on the injury
He
report.
did.
Yeah, was something that occurred in yesterday's practice. And
Yeah, there was a little something that we're taking a look at, and we would really think that we have enough good players on the team, so we don't want to put a player out there that might not be able to do right, wouldn't be doing right by him if he wouldn't be able to be full go. So we'll see how he reacts today and make that decision then. But yeah, it was something that we that kind of popped up yesterday, and that we'll see really how much the ramifications are after he gets moving today.
Mike, I know things are on a case-by-case, game-by-game basis. I've heard you say that.
They are.
But do you have a realistic ideal on number of plays that you want to run per game and a run-pass mixture?
I've never really thought about the number of plays. You would like to possess the ball more than the other team does, but sometimes that's not a bad thing if you're so there are the outliers where you're just scoring in short periods of time. I've never looked at it like that. I think that I will never. I'll always stay true to the game and try to call plays relative to what the defense is presenting, but also how the game's going on all phases, and those are the things that you can kind of dictate, and unless they are completely zeroed out and having 11 people in the box, I always try to, I really believe in dictating the terms on offense. You run the ball, so you in your mind you're trying to get mid-20s to 30 runs, but you never just commit to that because you got to do what's best. So again, case by case in that regard. Outside of that, you just try to have things work and not turn the ball over, and then the game progresses in whatever way it wants to progress after that.
This offseason, you've alluded to the rabid Dolphins fan base, how grateful you are for this opportunity as a head coach. I know you don't want to shortchange the process. 2 days out, have you allowed yourself to maybe think a little bit or prepare for the emotions of coming out of the tunnel, that opening kickoff, and the national anthem? Have you thought about that stuff at all 2 days out?
It's actually what I tried to tackle. I'm a little obsessive when it comes to being intentional and doing my job and understanding what my job is. So I did over the break think it was important for me to put myself there, to intentionally think about that stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised. But really, when I talk about as a head coach, the responsibility that you have to each and every member of the organization, to the players, and to the fan base. Me personally, I don't really allow myself to go anywhere but what is my job for that. So I know in the national anthem, like every game that really I've been in the NFL since it's kind of been my routine since 2011. During the national anthem, I try to take in all of that. Honestly, with the duty that I have to the team, I don't expect that to feel any different. That moment beyond, I'm so grateful and thankful to be here, because if I was approaching this game like, oh, well, this is a big game because that is straying from my true beliefs, where this has nothing to do with me. I'm part of a team. Whatever my job is, I have to execute that job. But fundamentally, I'd feel like something was askew if I made this out to be anything other than week one, which is, there's a lot of investment that goes into the week one, but that's the same as it is every year to me. So my role has changed, but I don't expect my emotions to change, because if I got a hint of that, I would get really pissed at myself, because this is not about me. This is about the Miami Dolphins.
Coach, your first 5 opponents are conference opponents, so getting off to a good start obviously is pivotal. How do you tell your coaching staff to keep them focused, to get the players focused, to getting off to a good start, because knowing how vital it is?
Yeah, I really look at it like a pie chart, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's like a NBA 3-point competition. Okay, so you have in those competitions you have basketballs, right, and every shot counts for 1, and then you have those colored balls that count for more. It's like 2 or whatever, and so you have 17 games, all important. There's 6 games that have a little more value, but they're still very important. I mean, to me, at the beginning, I've started seasons 1-0 and haven't made the playoffs. Been 0-1, been in the Super Bowl. Last year we were 3-5 at the team I was on before, and we ended up going to the championship game. So it starts from the beginning about, okay, what are you doing? It's why I emphasize so much deliberate, intentional, present mindset, because it's more about, we're on the field in an NFL game. How many opportunities does a coach or a player have like that? It's finite. It doesn't feel finite when you're in the moment, but I remind people it is finite for everybody. Hey, listen, this just in, I think we're at the half-life of the sun, so in 4.5 billion years, the sun's going to blow up, okay? Everything is finite. So you don't go and say, oh, hey, it's important to start it's important to put everything into preparation to put yourself in the best position to win a game, because if you don't do all the things that you can control, what you don't want to do is have 1, 2, or start accumulating game day experiences where you're like, in hindsight, I should have done more. That's what I focus on.
Did you have any catch last night, Steve? And if so, what do you think of one team that you're going to face twice this year?
You don't say their name out loud? That's respect.
You didn't say 49ers.
No, it was. I brought it up to the team in terms of you don't watch football and not put yourself in that situation. And I used it. We're not a nighttime nationally televised game, but you can say, watch these players, all the off-season build-up, and then what happens during the game. Whether it's correlation or causation, there were 7 turnovers. So are people pressing? Are people? I do bring that stuff up because it has to do with putting yourself there. But as far as other teams, there's 2 teams that exist to me. You worry about the Miami Dolphins, and you're worried about what we are as a team and how we're playing our football, and then you worry about the opponent you're about to play. Because if the Miami Dolphins are right, okay, and then you are prepared for the opponent, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they're doing. So I don't, I mean, I don't really put that much. I don't talk to the team that way about other teams because I don't think it's about other teams. It's about us.